Hey guys, welcome to another episode of What in the World is Going On with me, Ani Kasparian. Now today we are going to be talking about Mother's Day in the Arab world and what is going on in Lebanon, and with Mother's Day being in the Arab world, the first Mother's Day since the Beirut explosions, where hundreds of mothers lost their children. So, of course, we always eat something together. So today we're going to be having lentil soup. Lentil soup is amazing. By the way, if you live in the US, you should totally get Amy's lentil soup at Walmart. It is so cheap. It's like $3-ish bucks. Like, it's the cheapest place to get it, and it is organic and healthy, and lentils are amazing. It's like healthy proteins. So today we're going to talk about, of course, Mother's Day, what it means for the Arab community, but also we're going to talk about the Beirut explosion on August 4th, 2020, and what that means. So let's get into it. First of all, happy Mother's Day to all the amazing Arab moms who work so hard every day to keep the family together and on just like organized and fed and clothed, and I mean, they're amazing Arab moms in the Arab world that I've seen be like working full time and momming and everything else. So they are amazing, and they're strong, and they're fabulous. Okay. And oftentimes they're in a country that doesn't allow them to be their, 100% selves in public. So it's like, it's like, they're amazing. They're warriors. Okay, so today, I want to talk to you about what happened on April 4th, 2020. So there was a huge explosion in the port of Beirut on August 4th, 2020. And it was so huge that hundreds of people were injured, died. People's homes were just demolished in a second. Or if they weren't as close, their windows were just shattered. So it was like a really scary and really terrible time for these people, because they had to not only go through a pandemic, an economic crisis, all that, they also had to physically rebuild their houses and mourn the loss of their families and children. So today in Beirut, a lot of moms took to the streets with signs saying that, you can't take back my son or my daughter who was killed in the explosions. So it's just the saddest thing. So how did the explosions happen? Actually, you might be surprised. It was not meant to happen. And I know you're probably like, there are explosions that are meant to happen. Yeah, all the time, okay? But this one was not meant to happen. It was a mistake explosion, and it was huge. So pretty much what happened was there was a boat that came from Eastern Russia, and if I'm wrong, I'll put it in the comments below and all that. And it came over, it was going to go to North Africa and that area. It was carrying a lot of goods. And the Hezbollah group, which we know from my last live, is the group that controls a lot of ports of entry in Lebanon, including the airport and the ports for boats. So they actually asked that boat to stop and stay in that port for whatever reason. And it literally just stayed there forever. Well, on that boat was pounds and pounds of ammonium nitrate, which is an explosive. if touched with fire. Now, ammonium nitrate you can sometimes find in fertilizers. So at first you're like, it's just fertilizer, but really it is highly explosive. Why they had it? I don't know, because again, this is not the government. This is a group in Lebanon that is not a ruling body. It's literally just a group that decided, hey, I'm gonna control this area. Like, could you imagine if that happened in your country? I can't even imagine, how, imagine if you were a president or a prime minister of a country. Would you legit just let people just walk all over you and be like, this is my land, I'm controlling it? I would literally be like, bruh, sit down, yo. I'm the president. If you want something and we're not meeting your needs, come talk to me. We can help you out, but damn. So I think, that's why I always think it's okay, there's something going on behind the scenes that we don't see. Who's working with who, we don't know. So, but it's important to not make any kind of conspiracy theories. You just have to do the facts. And the facts are that the Lebanese government currently is one that steals a lot of money. I mean, it's point blank. It's the most obvious crime. Where's all this money going? The air? It's going through corrupt leaders. So, back on August 4th. So, the explosion went off. To this day, some children have nightmares and are just, I kind of want to do a project about, not a project, write an article about how it affected children. I know from a source, from someone who was there, that the kids really were frightened about what in the world that sound was and had night terrors for a long time. So I want to report on those stories one day, so hopefully after May I can do that, send the little nuggets my way. But it's just so sad. Can you imagine? How do you describe that to a kid? It's oh, don't worry, it won't happen again, there's no monsters under your bed. It could happen again. So scary. Anyway, so August 4th, ammonium nitrate. That's blah blah. People, when they found out what happened, were enraged. How dare you have how dare you have that much ammonium nitrate in one place so that if anything caught fire to explode so close to people's residential areas? Seriously? People were so mad. Rightfully so. Some people, it took their family members from them. This was one of the saddest stories. Her name was Alexandra Najjar. She was 4 years old, if I'm not mistaken. If not 4, she was 3. And the explosion went off and it killed her. And her 2 parents survived, and now they have to live with that forever. And she was one of the youngest pictured at the protests only a few weeks before, just trying to get people to wake up in Lebanon and the pretty much the government body to wake up and be like, yo, I am not playing. We need money, we need food, we need a good way of life in this country. Hello? And she was there with her parents, showing support. She was a little tiny nugget. And then the explosion happened. Come on. This should be a human right for all people. But how about all children too? If you can't think of people, what about children? I know children are people, but you know what I mean. Innocent children, they don't do anything, and it's so sad. So a lot of Lebanese are leaving because not only were they protesting before this whole explosion happened, but the explosion happened and nothing's changed. People, the Lebanese lira is going up, 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 up. Like, I mean, as I told you, it went from like 1,500 lira for $1 to now like 15,000 lira. And it was this really like astute or witty cartoon, political cartoon, or just maybe, I don't even know if it's a cartoon. It was more just like a picture with their faces. And it had a picture of all the leaders, and then it had 1 comma, or no comma, 15000, and the last 0 was a different color, and it said, "You are the reason of the 0." So the extra 0. So that makes sense, right? 1,500, 1500 turned to 15,000, 15000. So I thought that was a perfect representation on that. But yeah, the page I think is Poly Lebanon or something like that. Check them out. They post interesting things. So the point is, you can tell when Lebanon does not have control over what's going on when in your own country there are hiding amounts of explosives. Now, some people thought that maybe the government knew. I think that they did, and they just didn't do anything about it, and people got even more mad. Again, I'll put it in the comments if I'm not right, but I do think that that was reported. But it was just like, whoa. And people were in like need of hospitals. Hospitals were like crowding. I mean, it was nuts. There's a famous picture of this NICU nurse / secretary. I don't remember if she was a secretary, but she was at the secretary desk, and there's a picture. She's holding a phone, and she has like 3 newborn babies, and she saved the newborn babies and like ran out of the hospital, because even the hospital like lost all power, was destroyed. People were having babies. Could you imagine having your baby like, and then like an explosion? So if we get an influx of Lebanese in this country, I don't want to hear it from none of y'all. Okay? Yeah. Don't tell them to go back anywhere, because that country is not a safe one for them. And that's what they decided, and everyone deserves safety. So a lot of people are debating, like, should we leave? Some people just don't have the money to leave. Some people want to leave, they can't. Some people don't want to leave because they live there their whole lives. I mean, like, could you imagine just like all of a sudden, like, your life is beautiful, and all of a sudden your currency goes, like, depreciates in value so much that you can't even buy rice? Like, literally, there was a video the other day of a police officer being like, "Show me your ID to buy rice." Okay, this ain't alcohol, y'all. This is rice. So it was crazy. And yeah. So the point is, the moms were all outside today, like, pretty much in protest of everything that happened and how this Mother's Day is different from them. They have every right to do that. And I just can't imagine the sadness they would feel today. Like, oh my God. Self-care, ladies. You're so strong. Like, do something for you today. Cherish those who you've lost. Embrace the grief. Don't feel guilty about grieving. My heart goes out to you. And if we can help in any way, let us know. So yeah, sad Mother's Day today for the Lebanese. I'm trying to think of if anyone has any questions about the explosion. Let me know. I mean, some people are still rebuilding with their, like, with glass. You know, as I said in my last live, Lebanon is known for everything being made out of glass, like, of all things. So everything shattered. The place I stayed in Lebanon when I was there, I reached out to the owner of the place. I was like, "How is it?" And she sent me pictures, and I was like, oh my God. It was like, imagine the strongest winds of your life, like, because when an explosion happens, it like pushes the air. So like it went through the thing, right? Through the window, and then like all the furniture moved like all the way back, and like it was crazy. Definitely check it out. Some people had like security cameras on, so they caught it in the action. It was so scary. Like, it had like one explosion and then another really big one, and it was just like crazy. There was a mom who had a baby during it, and I think they saved the baby, and I was just like, oh my god. Yeah. So keep the Lebanese in your thoughts. That's what happened April 4th. I'm trying to think of anything else that I could add here, but I think that's it. I mean, write in the comments like what you think about all this and like some ideas on how to help, because this country is getting way out of control, and it's those top 6 dudes refuse to let go of power. Now, if they did let go of power, how do you think Lebanon could recover from this? What would you want to see next? Especially if you're Lebanese, what would be the most ideal next steps? I think I might know the answer, a free and fair election, but who would it be? Who would be on the ballots? This is all new for Lebanon. Usually the same people, their names are on the ballots. It's not easy to become an elected, and it's not easy to be a new person running for an office in Lebanon. You know, it's a process. So, I don't even know anymore. I just wish I could help more, you know? So, spread awareness, share this video. I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening. And I've got lentil soup to eat. Oh, and by the way, if you like this ring I'm wearing, I know some people were asking about it in the comments, but this is a ring I made. I got this rock from Italy. I dove in the ocean for it. I have a jewelry company called Petra Chic Jewelry, and I take rocks from all over the world. I shellac them and I make them into necklaces and rings. And yeah, so if you're interested, check it out. Petra Chic Jewelry on Instagram. Hope you have a wonderful night, and I hope you learned something today. Happy Mother's Day to all the Arab moms out there. Love you guys.